Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Investing Bros Saturday Special Edition live show. We have got a treat lined up for you guys today. Of course, here at Investing Bros, we always cover all the news, all the charts that are relevant in the crypto world to keep you up to date with what is happening in the world of crypto with your hard-earned investments. But today's a special day because we did have a really cool event yesterday. We live traded on our Friday 3 p.m. show. We live traded based off of the users' recommendations. And we gained a whopping 114% in our short over on SUI, which means there will be an announcement of one lucky winner for $24. Yeah, it's not a whopping a lot of money, but it's $24 free money. I have the contestants' names to enter. We're going to start doing that every single Friday and giving it away on Saturdays. So to enter, make sure you are signed up with our Blofin link down below and that you have that. Let us know your UID. Let us know you watched the Friday show and you could be entered to win. I cannot wait for that. We also are going to break down, because it's not necessarily a heavy news day. There are some news stories to get into, but as the title suggests, T-Shroom and I are going to break down for you guys our top 5 recommended altcoin holds. Not that that's financial advice. We're going to explain to you why we like these 5 coins. Of course, I'm going to hold more than 5 altcoins, guys. But if I had to choose only 5, I chose some categories here that are going to make it interesting. What coin do I think is going to have the biggest gains is going to be one of my holds. What coin do I think is going to have massive use case? What coin is my safe pick, meaning maybe it doesn't gain a lot, but I have to hold this coin because it is security. Next one is, what coin do I think has the biggest momentum going into the bull market? And the last one, what is my favorite coin? We're going to break down our top 5 coins for you guys based off of those criteria. Cannot wait to see what you guys put in the chat as your picks for those top altcoins. But before we jump into all of those juicy details, I got to introduce my co-host for the show, Mr. T-Shroom from down there in Gainesville, Florida. T-Shroom, how are you feeling today?
Well, Tim, I'm feeling better than I deserve. I really am. And I've got to come back. Yesterday, we had a terrible quote from Jim Carrey.
Yeah, well, the end was good. The beginning was weird.
It was bad. It was a stinker. It was probably
rough.
one of the worst quotes that I have presented to the bros. So I had to come back with a better Jim Carrey quote. Here we go. I hope everybody can get rich and famous and will have everything they ever dreamed of, so they know that's not the answer. Jim Carrey.
Good,
a lot better.
Jim, good job, Jim. That's a good quote. Jim Carrey, he's an intriguing figure with his belief systems on different things. But, hilarious actor, great actor. I mean, some of our kids might not appreciate the greatness of Jim Carrey. But that quote, definitely not a stinker. I agree with it 100%. And here's the thing. We're in a channel all about helping people create wealth, but we are so big on this. We like to have fun. We like to laugh. But on a very serious note, if you are building wealth, but not building and growing your character and your generosity and improving the lives of the people around you, just like Jim Carrey is saying here, if you go after money without seeking the other things, you will find yourself, if not as miserable, more miserable than when you had no money. But how cool is it if as you build your wealth, your generosity and your character and your personality and the loved ones in your life grow with you, that's what will bring real satisfaction, real happiness, real joy. So if you guys are about that life, you found the right channel, because that's what Investing Bros is all about. If you just want to make money, we're going to help you do that too, but we highly recommend you guys continue with the other things as well. T-Shroom, let's get in here. Let's take a quick look at charts.
Let's do it.
Very, very briefly. We'll do more charts at the end. Bitcoin did pull back as we said it would yesterday, but I still have my eyeballs fixed on some levels above us, and we are starting to see some of the positivity come back into the space. Do I already have my fixed range volume up? So that's going to tell me why isn't it loading though? All right, we got to redo this here, guys. Fixed range volume profile. Come on, load for me now, computer. I don't know why it is giving me such a hard time this morning. There we go. We still have our point of control sitting here at 42.7, still have our value area high at 45. You guys know the levels we have been talking about here for the last couple of days. Looking over on ALGO, of course, one of the partners of our channel. Again, on this 4-hour chart, bullish after bouncing on the green band. We did get a little bit of a momentum killer of this most recent trend. But when we come in here and we start to look at lower time frames, 4-hour chart, still looking a little bearish, even though money flow is still positive. It's the hourly chart that we're starting to potentially see the signs come in. We're ready to move back to the upside. Yes, we corrected. We had a strong reversal. I told you guys yesterday, if we had the money flow going negative, a reversal indicator, and a gray dot, that would have been a good short. Look at that. That's a perfect little spot right there. Could have had a nice little short entry, come down, look for some momentum here, take your profit. Now we are currently sitting here. We did not have a reversal dot, but we do have some bullish momentum. The MACD is starting to curve over, and the money flow is moving back into the positive direction. Now we're at a small little order block right here. Are we just correcting and then having further correction to the downside? Again, I would lean towards saying the hourly chart right now looking a little bullish. 4-hour chart still kind of in an indecision mode. We have one bullish indicator for sure, but the others are still saying, hey, there's a chance we have a little more cooling off to do over the rest of the day. Honestly, I do not think today, this is going to be probably a normal Saturday. Historically, Saturdays and Sundays are not the biggest moving days in Bitcoin and crypto prices. Recently, we've had some very explosive weekends, but we might have returned to some normalcy here, because what I'm seeing with these mixed results across the time frames, that's kind of saying like, hey, there's going to be a lot of indecision between buyers and sellers, bears and bulls. You're going to see a lot of people selling, a lot of people buying. Ultimately, we're going to be kind of moving sideways. Let's take a quick look right here at Bitcoin's. Let's look at Bitcoin's liquidations. See what we have in the 12 hours. There we go. We got to reload the whole page here. I'm assuming when we come down to the 12-hour chart, we're going to see a lot of yellow above and below, which is going to further kind of help us with our take that it's going to be a little volatile day. Yeah, so we're currently sitting right below some yellow here at 42. There is yellow as high as 42.4, and again, 42.7 is where we see a little bit of this gap here. But also keep your eye on the lower parts. This isn't yellow, but 41.5 down here is looking a little green. We have a yellow line here at 41. 41 could get interesting. What would that look like in terms of price action? 41 coming in right down here. Yeah, that's kind of a level we discussed yesterday. Let's go back over the hourly chart right here. 41 would bring us back down into our blue Neo cloud, so bullish hourly chart here, but bring us back down, potentially even hit somewhere around this blue line, which is a former resistance line we have broken through. Let's turn off some of this noise so you can see it more clearly. Potentially, are we going to see a cool off to retouch this blue line, clear out some of those long liquidations just to set up brand new ones before a bigger move to the upside? I told you guys, choppy volatility is the name of the game. Real quick, though, Bitcoin dominance on the hourly chart taking a cool off, but on the long term, still moving to the upside. This is continuing to kind of back up my thought that even though we're rallying right now, this is going to be more of a dead cat bounce before a bigger fall to the downside. When you see Bitcoin dominance climbing like it is right now, that's not the argument to say that we're going to be seeing a massive rally coming, especially to alts. I mean, this is literally saying a lot of the money coming into crypto right now is flowing into Bitcoin. Historically, that doesn't happen during massive bull trends. That happens usually during more bearish trends. So keep your eyes definitely on that. Let's see, what else do I want to cover here? US dollars, like Dixie, we need to cover this a lot more. Dixie still in the positive, but let's see if we're starting to see some momentum slow down. Daily chart, definitely. Gray momentum dot, reversal, and money flow is negative. So what's our rule here? That means the Dixie probably should be falling over the next couple of days, which should support that concept of the Bitcoin price, the altcoin prices climbing to the upside. Let's see what Lux ALGO is saying here as well. We are under a red Neo cloud still. Keep an eye where we're here at this order block up here towards 103. If we were to fall, keep your eyes again right here down towards 102, 101, and then potentially making it down here back towards our stop loss down towards 100. This is what you're wanting to see. If you're pro crypto right now, you are wanting to see this Dixie looking bearish like it is, but we got to give it a couple more days to kind of play out how that looks. 4-hour chart. Let's see what it is saying. Short term, looks like we're flipping back bullish. Money flow going positive. Green momentum dot right there. MACD kind of just getting sideways, though, so that's not really helping us out too much. Just a lot of indecision here on the 4-hour chart, but I would not be surprised. Again, like I told you guys, Bitcoin might fall a little bit. We were looking at the Bitcoin chart. Dixie might climb a little bit today, so that makes sense. But on the daily chart, that's where we're seeing Bitcoin and altcoins look more bullish, Dixie looking more bearish. So this would kind of mean today and possibly even tomorrow, don't be surprised for sideways to downward action for crypto, sideways upward action for Dixie. But then next week, the bullishness for crypto continues based off what the charts are saying. We'll take a closer look at some of these coins in the Q&A section towards the end of the show. If you're enjoying the show, make sure you go and smash that like button. And if you're new, hit that subscribe button as well. We're about to jump into some news and then our conversation about the top 5 altcoins you got to be holding for this bull market. T-Shroom, I know it's not a lot, but what do you got for us in terms of news today?
Well, we've got a couple of different interesting happenings. I wouldn't call them news necessarily, but here we go. Let's get into them. Some interesting stories for us to talk about. Dormant Bitcoin whales awakens and snaps up 3 unexpected altcoins, Tim.
Ooh,
you would not have expected these altcoins. In fact, they are this one that I've never heard of, TIK Finance. TIK Finance has caught the whale's attention. In particular, the project has become a hot topic in crypto circles.
It's possible that TIK might have been paying some marketing dollars to get an article written about them.
No, Tim.
Okay, I'm just wondering.
Nobody in crypto is trying to make money. They're just trying to buy coins. Let's see. And then the other ones are a little more predictable. Ethereum, which is gearing up for scalability upgrades, and potentially a spot Ethereum ETF. That's left out of here. But the dank sharding upgrades, that was a terrible highlight.
Cannot read that at all. Yeah,
is actually extremely useful here. The dank sharding is going to potentially be pretty significant. And then also Shiba Inu. Time for a meme coin comeback. This whale is betting that it is. So there you go. That's a dormant whale.
Well, it's not what the charts are saying, but glad to always have a paid advertisement on a news article. Thank you so much for that.
Absolutely. And then you've got the links down to TIK. Let's look at the white paper really quick for TIK. Because we all know SHIB, right? We all know SHIB.
Yeah, we all know SHIB.
Ethereum.
We know ETH.
Some of us know ETH. It's a little more niche. But TIK is empowering finance, enabling freedom, your keys, your crypto, abstract.
So it likes decentralization in its crypto. Good to know. That really separates it from the pack.
Yeah. Let's look at their vision, page 6. That's not a vision.
By the way, this is not. We are not recommending you guys go look at Reddit. That was just in the article. It is interesting that a Bitcoin whale is waking up, but again, I have suspicions about this article.
Yeah.
So please do your own research before investing in any token you have never heard of, like for example, Reddit.
Yep. And it's not terrible. It's not terrible, I guess. But
it's not going to make my top 5 list, T-Shirt. I'm going to put it that way.
No. Okay.
No.
All right. Well, let's keep going here. I've got another story. This one has all kinds of chaotic ads. Let me close those ads first. But
good.
BlackRock recommends 84.9% Bitcoin allocation in equity and bond portfolios, which is just a gripping headline, Tim. This is insane.
Yeah.
The world's largest asset manager, BlackRock, published a research paper advocating for an aggressive allocation of Bitcoin in traditional investment portfolios. This paper, titled Asset Allocation with Crypto, Application of Preferences for Positive Skewness. For positive skewness. What does that even mean? It must be a BlackRock financial term, one of them sophisticated terms. In the paper, BlackRock researchers suggested that the optimal allocation to Bitcoin in an investment portfolio consisting of 60% equities and 40% bonds be a substantial 84.9%. Ex-user Bitcoin News called attention to this development in a recent post. I feel like I remember this being a headline already, but you've never seen this before?
No, I hadn't seen this number. I mean, there was a while ago where they had a different number. This number keeps climbing, though. Like, it seems like every time we get a new number from BlackRock, it goes up and up and up. Now, this one, of course, equity and bonds. That would they're just saying compared to they're saying the price is going to go up. They're saying, it should be way more valuable than bonds. But what's cool is because the equity and bonds allocation is supposed to be your safe reserve. Ultimately, they're telling their investors, guys, the safest place to store your wealth is in Bitcoin. Not that comes as a surprise to us, but that number does jump off to me. 84, almost 85% of your secure portfolio, your safe day, rainy day fund, being in Bitcoin, that's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. And here on the Investing Bros, we're not going to let a good term go undefined. Positive skewness is when its tail is more pronounced on the right side than it is on the left. Okay, well, I knew that from a basic statistics course, but I saw the word asymmetric in there, which is a word that I've heard describing Bitcoin's upward potential. Bullish potential is it's an asymmetric trade. But ultimately, guys, I think that we're going to have to do a little more research on this term before we can really lock in on it with any amount of confidence. But 84%. Tim, would you feel comfortable if your parents said, hey, Tim, we've been watching your show. We're doing 84% into Bitcoin in our entire net worth.
Now, especially if they're talking about a bond. Listen, kudos to BlackRock for going up to 85%. If I was holding a bonds and equity portfolio, traditionally what people are putting in there, I'm going 100% Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin's going to be more valuable than anything else people are holding in that portfolio. Yeah. But to see BlackRock, and if my parents called me up and said, Tim, we know you've been in crypto. We're thinking about going 85% of our investments into Bitcoin. I'd be like, there we go. Because I think at the moment it's probably a 0% for them.
Really?
So, they talk to me like every couple of months. We have some sort of conversation. But they really like their broker, and their broker is not a crypto guy. So, you do what you can. It's a slow process. One day they'll look back and say, we should have listened to Tim.
We should have listened to BlackRock.
My brother takes financial advice from me, and I tell him not to, but he does. He does everything I say, and so that's why he has a lot of money. I'm just kidding. He has some money. He'll have a lot of money in the future.
Is that Caleb?
Oh, Caleb. Yes.
Yeah.
Football extraordinaire.
Yeah.
Real quick, there's a question here. I just want to address this, and then we're gonna jump back in the news. Gustavo Valios. I don't know how to pronounce the name. I'm not Hispanic. I don't know. I'm assuming it's
Valejos.
Name. But Gustavo, he said, guys, when you get a chance in the future, could you take a look at the ICP ecosystem? X, Sonic, SNS, please. Here's what's really cool. We have some things coming in the future. We might not always dive into those during live shows, but T-Shroom is going to be doing a lot more of that. Of course, I do the charts. T-Shroom does charts as well, but T-Shroom's really going to be diving into doing a lot more ecosystem reviews, coin reviews. So, Gustavo, these are great questions. Make sure you're in our Discord talking with us all the time. We're getting suggestions, and T-Shroom's really going to be diving in and giving grades and doing just some deep dives into these ecosystems in the Discord, helping give some recommendations for some deep dives.
Yep. Baba Yaz can't believe it. He said, "Are you sure they said 85% of all investment?" It's for okay. So it's a good question. It is clarified here in if you zoom in, it does say with a risk aversion equaling 1.5. So not everybody's going to fall in that category. Right, but for a certain group of people, which I would imagine is probably on the younger side, probably 35 to 45 population age would fall neatly in this 1.5 risk aversion. So it's not going to be people pushing 70, right? But that's BlackRock. This is an official document from BlackRock. So yeah, I would say that is what they're recommending for folks in that kind of in that age group or that have a risk aversion for that. And keep in mind too, very wealthy people have multiple investment portfolios. They'll have all kinds of different portfolios because they have all kinds of different revenue streams that have to sit in different tax treatment type of funds. So it gets complicated, but ultimately they're gonna expect different returns and different treatment for different portfolios, and so some of those portfolios might be more dispensable, you could say, and so they're going to have a higher risk tolerance. All right, moving on. We do have this story. You probably already saw it, but in case you didn't, it's very bullish. BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF was the first to reach 2 billion assets under management. It now holds 50,000 Bitcoin after adding almost another 4,300 tokens on Thursday. So just continues to go higher. Not going to dive into that because it's in the headline, to be honest with you. But Tim, are you starting to get worried, or is just bullish as usual? And
when you say worried, what out of curiosity, what would I be
that
worried
BlackRock's taking over? They're going to buy all the coins and do a 51%.
They are. But again, they're going to do that, and it's kind of like one of those things. Here's the thing. I don't like to be doom and gloom and try to create fear. That's going to happen, and I've kind of just processed it and gotten used to it. The good news is, like I kind of mentioned the other day, while I am sitting here thinking BlackRock strategies, they're just going to gobble every bit of Bitcoin out there that people could exchange. You have your long-term whales. Satoshi's never going to sell. Michael Saylor's never going to sell. These whales are never going to sell because they understand how to hold that wealth, leverage against it, borrow against it, build wealth against it. So they're not going to sell. And so there only leaves a certain amount of Bitcoin for the rest of us. And BlackRock is working very quickly to gobble up all of that, right? The good news is there are going to be teams and agencies and things out there that fight against BlackRock to keep that from happening. Ultimately, do I wish Bitcoin would stay more decentralized than it's going to be in the future? I do. But despite the fact that it will be held by the majority of it being held by a very few amount of people, even the diversity and the decentralization that'll be held by those many will keep it being a very powerful tool that helps to govern governments and companies. And when you have to obey the rules of a hard asset like Bitcoin, rather than just printing US dollars or fiat currency into oblivion and stealing wealth from other people to do so, you have to obey the laws of money with a hard asset like Bitcoin. That's going to be a good thing long term. But in all reality, I've kind of processed, like, I got to hold a certain amount of Bitcoin, and that's my Bitcoin long term. Most people are not going to be able to hold a whole Bitcoin. They're going to then eventually sell it to go do something else with it. And you're going to probably end up holding ETFs, and that's going to be your value of wealth in the future. And it just is what it is.
Yep. Fair. Pretty well said. Pretty well said. I think that these things are going to happen a lot slower than people anticipate, but I do tend to agree. One thing that slipped into there that Tim kind of agreed with, I don't know if you specifically agreed with, that BlackRock's going to try to do a 51% attack. I don't think they're going to try to do that.
That's what's good about Satoshi and Michael Saylor and all these other large accounts that hold them, is they would not allow, BlackRock will never own enough Bitcoin to have a 51% attack. Also, it's not about owning Bitcoin to have a 51% attack. That has a lot more to do with the mining of it, in which case there's a lot of things happening in the world that are going to keep the mining decentralized. So I'm not worried about the long-term future of Bitcoin getting centralized. I'm a little worried that individuals aren't actually going to be able to actually own Bitcoin. They're just going to own a bunch of IOUs in the forms of ETFs. But I'm not worried about the long-term wealth of Bitcoin, and it's stabilizing and creating a solid system for governments and businesses to follow monetary policies.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. Well, speaking of which, we've got a really cool tweet here from John Bollinger, who said, okay, looks like we might be done with this sell on the news crap. Now, joining
JP Morgan.
What's that?
So he's joining old JP Morgan.
Yeah. So when he said this, it was 7:40 p.m. on January 26th, so yesterday. Let's go and see where the price was at that exact time when he decided to tweet it out. So this is the 26th, and 1500 hours would be about 7 o'clock, and then 1600 would be 8 o'clock. So he said it, right as Bitcoin had this pretty big move up of 5.6% here on the hourly chart, and then was kind of, nesting in there. It hadn't come down and put these lows in quite yet to kind of test lower. So he's, you could say he was somewhat brave to say it here. But he was looking at his trusty Bollinger Bands on the 1 hour at least, seeing that they had pulled away and started to, kind of find a home here at this price level above 41.2, which is, where it's been trending for the majority of January. So, or at least staying above the majority of January. So Tim, do you think that John Bollinger here is kind of signaling some pretty heavy confidence that this is the bottom, that the bottom is behind us, and that this sell the news narrative is kind of in the past?
Like many analysts out there, you don't get them all right. I actually really like John Bollinger. I follow him on Twitter. I like to hear his takes. He doesn't just use the indicator that he created to do his technical analysis. Because right now, his indicator, the Bollinger Bands, are not indicating anything. Hourly chart, it's irrelevant. What we're seeing on the hourly chart right now will be irrelevant 48 hours from now, right? So the fact that I see a breakout coming on the hourly chart means nothing for the long term. And if I go to the daily chart, I'm showing you guys right here. If I go to the daily chart, this is one that's just showing me I got a lot of volatility left. Ultimately, he's using his Bollinger Bands plus a lot of other analysis to make this call. I don't necessarily think, though, that that's the right call to make. Of course, we've heard JP Morgan say this, and maybe he's not even talking about the charts, teacher. Maybe he's just talking about from a fundamental standpoint. It looks like the grayscale sell-offs are coming to a close. in which case you can make that argument. But of course, I'm going to make the argument that they're done selling for now. Again, it's also I'm gonna make sure it's clear because someone did kind of correct us because the way we talked about this is almost like Grayscale is just dumping their Bitcoin. It's like Grayscale's fault. It's not Grayscale's fault. It's the people who are holding GBDC. They're taking profit. Now, why do I think it's going to continue? Because, and we've covered this on the show, to hold it over there or to buy more in or take it out, the fees are way higher than other options out there. I mean, I could just go put it on Coinbase and have a better option. But you absolutely, if I'm looking at the fees over on GBDC right now, I'm like, let me save some money. Let me get this money off of GBDC and go put it into the BlackRock ETF or the Fidelity ETF or the ARK Invest ETF. There's just cheaper places to do it. However, if I'm also a smart person and I just saw the price at 49,000 and we've been at like 44,000, 45,000 recently, and we crashed all the way to 38.5, I don't really want to take profit at 38.5. I want to wait for a bounce back. The market's way overextended on these lower time frames. We had the potential for a big distribution phase where we bounce the price back up. I'll wait for a nice 45,000 to take my profit. Thank you very much. So this narrative of saying it's over, well, it's over for now. But to me, I'm not saying 100% of GBDC is going to get eliminated, but I think there's a level that they're going to let it come out of that place. People will take their profits when they like the profit level. Then we'll see the price start to dip more severely down again into the lower 30s. And that's where people will have massive amounts of buying come back in. A lot of people are saying not all this money is going to come into ETFs, by the way. There's probably a large portion of people that have had their money locked up in GBDC who are just happy to take profits and walk and go on their merry way. But I do think when we see a $30,000, $31,000, possibly $28,000 Bitcoin, it's going to be too meaty. It's just too good of a price action for these whales and institutions who see the long-term vision. They see the future. They're going to buy in bulk, and we're going to have some God candles, and we're going to have a very explosive bull market just like 2021.
Yeah. Well, Tim, a lot of people doubted you when you were saying that, XRP, after it had its spike when it won that SEC case, a lot of people doubted that XRP was going to go back down to 55 cents. Right?
Yeah.
That's when it got up to like 80 cents or something like that.
90 something. It was up in the 90s, almost back to $1.
And everybody was like, "No, it's only up from here for XRP."
Yeah.
Well, XRP has not only got back down to 55 cents, it's also been one of the most disappointing cryptos out there in general. Even though it has been paying for tons of marketing and it has that huge bullish catalyst. And it's the fact that it's been deemed not a security by the U.S. government. There's just not a lot of buyers for it still. However, so a lot of people doubted you. I am still kind of under the impression of taking the opposite position that you're taking here. I think if you look at it on the daily chart, ultimately my point here is that I'm very hesitant to go against your impulse, but it still makes the most sense to me that this was kind of the test lower. We had that wick. That wick was short-lived, and this was kind of what I was thinking was going to happen. In fact, I was thinking we wouldn't even get a candlestick below 41.2. We got that candlestick down, and I was thinking this isn't going to last long. It's going to get gobbled up. Sure enough, the next test lower, the next leg lower, which you could make the case that this needed to come down, trend lower, and come down to 38. A lot of people were saying that, and then make a leg even lower down to 35. Right? But it didn't. It had a quick wick down, kind of in that 38 zone, came right back up, and now we're headed in the opposite direction. I'm still holding to that case that there's too much buyers in the market, especially as we get to these lower levels, that we probably have seen the lows for Bitcoin unless there is an event, right? And there are some shoes to fall.
Let me ask you this, and we're going to get into our top 5. A lot of people probably joining saying, what are the top 5 altcoins being hold? We haven't gotten into it, so you guys are joining the right time. Smash the like button. We're literally about to enter that conversation. Going through news here. T-Stream, you just said there's still too many buyers in right now, right? Who are those buyers? Who do you think? I know it's going to be split, but who do you think makes up the majority of these large buyers? Is it retail buyers? Is it institutional buyers? Is it governments? Who do you think makes up the majority of the buyers right now?
I think the buyers right now are sharks and whales. They're crypto natives. These are people who've made a lot of money in crypto. They know how to play the alt markets, and they've been generating liquidity by taking profits in alts and just rotating into Bitcoin. They also own businesses. They make money in the trad world. But I think that we've yet to see the pension fund buys, the really big buys from like the large institutions that everybody's been hoping will come in. I think we've seen some of that to the tune of about probably not the full $2 billion in BlackRock, and then the rest of the ETFs, but probably around maybe 30 to 50% of that $2 billion plus the other ETFs is you could say is those pension funds, is those bigger 401k holders. But I think the movement right now, the big buyers in the market are just the buyers that have always been in Bitcoin, since probably 2017. It's just people who buy and sell crypto and then use TradFi income as well to buy Bitcoin because it's awesome.
So my point that I wanted to get your answer, and I agree. I agree that I think it's whales. I think it's experienced Bitcoin holders, and I think we have institutions coming in, but they know a lot. I mean, they know a lot about how these markets work.
Yeah.
Go to my screen here real quick. When we're looking at this chart, this pullback that we just had, and I've made this argument before, but I want to make it again. If the massive buyers are whales and institutions that know how markets work, after an amazing run here, we have only pulled back 21%. So let's just talk about the crypto whales. Crypto whales know that in this period of time, we have never had a pre-halving explosive movement back in 2019, back in 2016. We've never had them happen without a significant pullback of at least 30 to 40%. Of course, in 2019, we had a 50% pullback. My point here is experienced whales know we are still overextended. But what they also know is as long as the retail seems like they want to be mixed up, they're going to trade against them because they can. And so again, distribution phases. This happens throughout the history of Bitcoin price. By who? Whales and institutions. They play with our emotions by pumping, then dumping, then pumping, then dumping. And that's not the right expression because it's not a pump and dump. But these volatile moves, whales know they happen. They also know that after having an amazing run like we have had over the last 4 months, that healthy pullbacks consist of 30 to 40%. We've only had 21%. So while I think that we're still moving in distribution and still some fake outs happening, I think the people that we think really want to buy right now are still the people who understand, guys, we're probably, come on now, grab the tool. We're probably still looking at another, down here to 34. That's only 30%. Coming back to untapped significant resistance. Let's talk about this, guys. We dropped below this level in May of 2022 during catastrophic bear market, but bad news after bad news after bad news. We bounced back up after a big drop down to 25,000 and rejected on this $31,000, $32,000 level. All right. We have not gotten back above it. We get back in the same zone here in April of 23, get rejected. We fall back 20%, make another push, get rejected again in a distribution phase, make our pullback down. And then, okay, if we had done this, guys, if we had blasted up here in October and done something like this with this marker, if we had come up, traded sideways, come back down and tapped it, I think you have a very good argument because these whales and institutions know that after a long period of time of this level being resistance, it's going to be an amazing buy level, but that did not happen. We just went up and to the right. And so to stay away from an amazing buy level like 31.8, like 30,000, this little zone right in here that has been resistance for almost 2 years now, those whales are not doing their research, and they know better than that. When whales and institutions miss the boat, they bring the boat back. It's the retail. It's the moon boys. It's the newcomers that keep wanting this to be the bottom. Hey, we pulled back 21%. Hey, we pulled back. Hey, there's some good buy levels happening here at 38.5. Can't we just go up and to the right from here? That's what we want to say is happening. But the people with patience, the people who have been in the game long enough, these whales, these long-term playing institutions, they know a good price level when they see it. And guys, I'm telling you, that price level was not 38.5. That price level is low 30s, potentially high 20s.
Yeah. So kind of wrap it up. Look, I have to always so there's a difference between what I'm thinking and what I'm actually doing with my money right now, right? Because ultimately, the most important conclusion that you can come to here is whether you sell your bags or whether you keep your bags. And I'm not making a case in any world that selling Bitcoin here is a good idea. Especially your HODL bags. That is like the furthest from the conclusion that I'm coming to, right? Yeah. But everything on top of that is so uncertain, right? But Tim you were right on XRP coming back to 55. And so I have to have a huge slice of my brain that's just cut off in a positive, kind of dedicated to that and say, man, I just got to, no matter what I'm seeing on the charts, I do have to remember that there are these big pullbacks. And I have to also look into myself and say, look, I always acknowledge my bias of bullishness. I tend to have a much more optimistic view on not just equities and assets, but also life. So, having a good community with people like Tim, sober-minded folk who've called big pullbacks in the past is excellent to have in my life. And I'm very, very grateful. And it looks like we're having a touching moment here. So it's awesome. It's awesome.
Well, let's transition here, T-shirt. We've just covered news. We've got 170 people in here. Thank you so much for joining. You're here at the right spot. If you came for the top 5 altcoins that we want to hold, I want to make this very clear. We're about to get into this. These are not the only 5 altcoins that you should be holding. Again, continue to diversify. But let's just say you're sitting here, you only have the ability to really focus on and track 5. These are the top 5 coins that I'm not going to give you financial advice. Continue to do your own research, but these would be my top 5 altcoin holdings. We're not talking about Bitcoin. Again, these are altcoins. Bitcoin is the safest, most, it's just like, hey, hold Bitcoin. Like, it might not make you the most money, but it's what the future of this world looks like. And again, if you were here for the conversation about BlackRock, I'm a big advocate of people trying to hold as much Bitcoin as they can for the long haul. That way, it doesn't all go to BlackRock, Michael Saylor, and other sources. Now we still have people sending $1 million worth of Bitcoin to Satoshi. So that's like just throwing $1 million of Bitcoin into the toilet. So keep some of that Bitcoin for yourself. Altcoins, though. These are my 5 categories, and we decided right before the show we're going to have a 6th category. So 5 categories. We're going to go one by one, give our explanations. I'm curious. T-Shirt and I do not know what the other person is about to say, although we're probably going to line up on some of these. We will throw in at the end meme coins as well, but these are our segments. And you guys in the comment section, in the chat, flood your answers as we go through. The first section is going to be what coin do we think could potentially have the biggest gain that we really like to hold? What coin do we think is going to have this? The second one, massive use case moving forward. What coin is probably the safest pick, meaning it's not going to make you the most money, but you're guaranteed a 5x. You're guaranteed to make some money in this bull market. What coin has the biggest momentum leading into this bull market? So it could either have a 5x or potentially a 30x, not as big as your safe big gains though. Then of course, the last one, what is your favorite coin? Still going to make you money, but I like this ecosystem. I like what this coin is doing. I want to hold it because I agree with everything they're doing. And of course, we're throwing in the 6th one, meme coins. Let's start off T-Shroom with the biggest gains. I'll go first. We'll kind of go back and forth here. What coin do I want to hold that I think will have the biggest gains for me in this bull market? You guys have heard me say it before, so I don't think any of my answers are going to break the mold for the Investing Bros community that are subscribed already. But to me, the coin that I plan on holding that I think I will get the greatest returns from is going to be Kaspa. Kaspa, of course, the new proof of work. I think it will surpass Litecoin to be the second greatest market cap for proof of work coins. Is it going to surpass Bitcoin? Definitely not this bull market, and it's not going to do it ever. However, I think a lot of miners are going to flood to Kaspa. I think this is like almost a Bitcoin light-esque coin. And I'm seeing signs of, even if you bought today, I'm still waiting for a little bit of pullback, but even if you bought right now, I still think you're looking at something along the lines of a 30 to 40x in terms of price action. If I'm right about how far we can pull back, though, we could still be seeing 50 to 60x for our future on Kaspa. T-Shroom, that's my biggest gain coin I plan on holding. What about you? What's your biggest gain coin?
All right. My biggest gain coin is Kaspa.
Oh, you went a hardcore. I just have like a little sheet with it. You went put it on the computer.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You got
I
your,
fired
you
up
got
the
your life
old
together.
computer. I
You
got
got
my
your
life
life
together.
together here. All right.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, without saying everything I just said, what are your reasons? Why do you like Caspa as your biggest gainer?
I mean, there's like 3 or 4 like very bullish narratives still. Shoes to fall for Caspa, which is the biggest ones are going to be the listings on Coinbase and Binance. Crypto Seth actually tweeted out, I think it was yesterday or the day before. He was like, "Well, what if they don't get listed on Coin? What if Caspa doesn't get listed on
It
Coinbase
will.
and Binance?" And I think that the chance of that is pretty small, but it did make me think. Because like, interesting. And so that's an interesting one. But then I think the biggest one is the proof of work is going to be a very big narrative. And you do have Casper, and you also have like Ravencoin, and you have some other proof of work coins out there. But I think as the massive retail investment comes in, which is something we have not seen yet, guys, by the way, at pretty much at all. We've seen a little bit of it, but the retail dollars, they're going to be coming in and swapping for crypto. We've probably seen 3 or 5 cents of that dollar so far that's going to be coming into the space. And probably 2 to 3 of that cents got scared and sold the top, right? So anyway, Gaspa, I think it's going to be big.
Be listed on Coinbase.
It's going to be a compelling narrative to the noob retail.
In case you didn't know, Coinbase is a little distracted right now with a lawsuit from the SEC. So not going to be surprised to see them not necessarily adding too many coins at the moment. But once that gets settled, more than likely within the next month or two, I would not be surprised. I mean, Caspa is already a top. Is it in the top 20 now? It definitely was in the top 30 last I checked.
I think it's in the top 20. Yeah.
Let's see. Caspa is sitting on.
Oh no, not top 20. Top 100.
It fell out. It fell out of the top 30. It looks like. So it was in the top 30. It's now at 38. All the more reason I can get some more gains. Super chat from Army Piper said Caspa deep dive video coming out from Crux of Crypto soon on Piper Academy. Hello, look at that. Yeah, so go check that out.
That's sick.
I saw some others. By the way, guys, lots of coins are going to have some big gains. Eric Wallen put on there Sui. I don't know. I know Eric's really big on Sui. There was a minute there that Sui looked a little sketchy. I need to look more into it to see what's changed. Sui clearly been running here the last couple of days, so that's a good one, and we got a nice short on it the other day. Injective and Tia as well, by the way, guys. Those are definitely – they're not going to be on my top 5 list, but those are respectable ones. I told you guys 5. Every single one that he put there. Sui, again, recently has been really good, but Injective and Tia, definitely some big gainers here as well. Just not my top big gainer for this one. Let's move to the next one. And this one, we're going to change it up. We'll let you go first, T-Shroom, so that it's not just always me and then we agree with each other. What coin are you holding because of the massive use case it will have moving forward?
Yeah. Okay. Let me copy it over. I kind of have a weird system of how I'm doing this, but here we go. All right. Okay. That is going to be Ethereum. I think Ethereum, in terms of use case, it's just far and away the most adopted, right? And, the more people are using it, the more there's a use case, I would say. Okay. I think there's some other coins, some other blockchains that I would like to see get used more, right? Because they have lower fees and faster transaction times. However, Ethereum just is the GOAT right now when it comes to altcoins in terms of use and adoption, right? Again, there's better blockchains out there, but if you look especially at these maps of like dApps and the crypto ecosystems in general, Ethereum is still very much at the heart of that structure and that network. So you have to give it to Ethereum, in my opinion. Tim, what's yours?
All right, we got our first difference, first change. And I don't have the document the way T-Shroom does. My top coin for massive use case is going to be Chainlink. Listen, I understand why you chose Ethereum there. Mm-hmm. Not a bad choice. But I'm talking about massive use case worldwide. And I'm not predicting that it'll pass Ethereum's market cap, but I think it could get closer than some people think with its use case with Chainlink's use case to not just integrate different cryptos together, but also get into the financial world as well. Swift is going to be using it. It is part of the reason why XRP, I'm borderline considering not holding any XRP because of what Chainlink is doing. And then, of course, what XRP itself is doing. But Link is going to, in my opinion, have why is mine so little? Why mine are like yours?
Because it's a working document, Tim.
Okay, true. Anyway, that's my pick. Chainlink, I am not going to be surprised. Currently, Chainlink is sitting as the top, let's see, it is number 13. I told you guys in a previous video we made months ago, I think Link is going to be number 3 behind Bitcoin and Ethereum. I'm not changing my answer there. I think Link is going to have a massive use case worldwide that even people that don't really like crypto are going to realize Link is very valuable. I'm going with Link as my choice for my massive use case. T-Shroom said Ethereum. What do you guys think in chat? We're going to move on because we got to get into our safest pick. And this is where, of course, because we disagreed on this last one, we're automatically going to disagree on this one because my pick for the safest coin is Ethereum. I think Ethereum is going to make money. I think Ethereum is a very safe 5x. I think there's still a decent chance we could 10x on it. It's not going to outpace. Like, I think Ethereum is not going to perform as well as any of my other top 5 coins, but it is safe. And you can make the argument about the future. I think Ethereum has a lot of questions about the future that you have to ask if you want to hold it long term. But for this bull market, do not be surprised to see Ethereum jump to $1.6 to $2 trillion in market cap. Yes, you heard that right. 1.6 to $2 trillion in market cap. Still behind Bitcoin. We're not getting a flippening, but we are seeing some very safe money. Ethereum is the future. I mean, T-Shroom gave it as his most big use case coin. The same arguments can apply as to why I think it's my safest pick. Even though I think Chainlink is a bigger one for use case, safe pick for me, Ethereum. T-Shroom, what do you have?
Chainlink, safe pick.
All right, so we just flip-flopped. So that's your okay. All right. Maybe we have different definitions of what massive use case and safest pick are. Maybe those are kind of redundant. I don't know. Maybe.
I think it's possible that it's redundant. Yeah. And remember, guys, you might be screaming, well, what about Bitcoin? We're only doing altcoins here. So obviously Bitcoin would have probably been the top for all 3 of these so far. But So
Bitcoin wouldn't have been the biggest. You're not going to get the biggest gains from Bitcoin. So that would not have won biggest gains anywhere.
I do have some alternatives, Tim, to 2 of these categories.
Let's talk about some alternatives.
So the alternatives that I have for the biggest gains is actually Compound, which is pretty controversial.
Okay.
And
I would not have put that in there.
The reason why, because Compound is like, I don't know that it'll go back. Here, let's go to a chart really quick and look at it. I don't know that it'll go back and touch those all-time highs that it had. But if you look at it on like a zoomed out chart, this baby got really, really high and has come down quite a bit. It was in the multiple. It was like up to 800, right? And there's another bullish case for it. But it got all the way up to one. So it'd be a 1,600% move higher, right? Which is another very, very big move. However, I think that the reason why I think it could do that is because there is a DeFi season, right? It's one of the sub seasons of altcoin season. But there's a better DeFi projects out here now. But I think that the reason why Comp might actually have a chance of doing really well is because it's the smallest cap listed on Robinhood. And I've said that before. I haven't said that in a long time. But Kaspa, I've been watching it, and I've been holding a very, very little bit of it. But it has been kind of keeping pace with the rest of the market. And it also, kind of like Chainlink, it kind of trades in its own little pattern sometimes too. So anyway, that's my honorable mention.
I'm going to disagree. I mean, it's in an accumulation phase for sure on the charts. But I look at my chart real quick. This is not the sign of a biggest gainer, right? Because it clearly didn't pick up really much of any momentum during this bull trend we've been in over the last 4 months. The high up here, I'm not saying we can't set a new high. In fact, let's just see. If we were to make it back from where we currently are to all-time high, what kind of gain would that be? We're looking about 16x isn't terrible. That's not bad. I think you make money here. My point, though, is I just don't see that as being – you made that as your, like, biggest gainer. I don't see a 50x here on Compound. I could be wrong. Those who know more about the fundamentals than me could make an argument to say, Tim, there wasn't a lot of excitement in this zone, but wait until August when this such and so happens, and then the use case is going to fly through the roof. You can make that argument. I don't know that argument. What I'm saying is this chart is not speaking an overabundance of confidence and excitement about this project moving forward.
And let me be clear. I'm not saying that it has the fundamentals.
I think it would a dark horse.
I'm just thinking it would be a totally noob retail-based drive higher because it is the lowest cap coin on Robinhood, right? And Robinhood, I think, is going to be one of the biggest crypto on-ramps in this next bull cycle. So
Piper says, don't sleep on AVAX. We're not sleeping on AVAX. Again, please don't think that this list of 5 coins are the only 5 coins you should own. AVAX is definitely in my probably top. AVAX might be like number 6 or 7 for me, honestly. So that, but it's just not my top 5 based off these segments. We just got a super chat from Chris saying, I got a great micro gem for T-Stream to look into. Aqua, it is the liquidity token for XLM's AMM. Stellar X is XLM. Yeah, of course, Stellar. Yeah, okay, so, all right. Something you should look into, T-Stream.
Interesting.
Aqua.
Thank you for the super chat, Chris. My first impulse is, oof, I'm not a big fan of the XLM ecosystem. XLM, when you trade it, when you send it, it's one of the only ones where you have to send a message with it, right? And I think that that's going to be a little spooky to new people, and I don't think it's good for adoption. And it's also kind of the little sister of XRP, right? So it has some things going against it. In the long term, do I think XLM is a part of the crypto ecosystem? In the long run, I do. And so I do think that it's going to have quite a bit of upside. But I don't think it's going to be able to, I don't think it's going to be one of the, in the top 5 or top 10, just, by 2050.
Remington Peralt, who's been a member for 6 months, says Squid Grow token, the market cap is only 8 million-ish. Here's what I'll say, Remington Peralt, and we're going to move on here because we got to get into our biggest momentum token. $8 million in a market cap means it's not nothing, right? So it's not like they just formed together in a shoestring. And it's one that, we'd have to look further into it. I don't know if we will. 8 million is so small, it could 100x, and that would still be, not that significant. But it's also one of those coins that could just end up doing nothing. It just doesn't get the attention it really needs. So, interesting pick there. I would never put a significant amount of money into Squid Grow token. That's like that's the kind of token you do like $1. And you're like, if this $1, if we see, maybe 5, I don't know. Like, I'm not going to put any type of serious money towards that small of a market cap.
I think when you're gem hunting, it depends what your net worth is. But I think when you're gem hunting and you have confidence in a gem, I think probably like 200 to 500 probably.
We're also speaking very different languages in terms of, I think you are saying if you're an actual gem hunter, you're doing some deep dive research and saying maybe. I am saying for the average person who has a normal job and is looking to increase their money, do not throw a lot of money at a project that has an $8 million market cap without doing a hefty amount of research. And if you can't do the hefty amount of research, all the more reason don't go much more than a couple of dollars.
Yeah. Crypto is very, very wide in the potential of what you can do. And there's multiple portfolios for each person.
Let's move to, you're going to go first here, T-Shroom. What coin has had the biggest momentum and it's making your top 5 pick?
All right. I think this one we might have the same one, and that is going to be Solana. Solana has had the most momentum, I think, in this market. If you look at the proximity from the midline of the Bollinger Band on the monthly chart, Solana is the winner, right? It's up like 160% from that midline, whereas Chainlink and Bitcoin are up about 60%, right? So I think it has the most momentum from that measurement. What do you think, Tim?
Yeah, I mean, that's my pick too, Solana.
Oh, really?
Okay. And this is another one. Like, Solana is one that I think, even from where we currently are, we're going to see more than a 10x. Again, I told you guys, I think that we're going to be pulling back towards $50, in which case that would mean that we're going to see more like a 20x on Solana if my levels that I think it get to hit. But the momentum, it's hard to do price predictions long-term on Solana because it had such amazing momentum communicating not just, hey, we're back from the dead, which, by the way, that's part of the reason why it had such great momentum. Everyone thought Solana was dead and it came back. But it also communicated, we're not just back from the dead to be an okay so-and-so coin. We're going to be a top 5 coin. We are going to be a massive use case. Institutions and VCs love us. My prediction of getting over the $1,000 mark for Solana might be low. Like, this could be a coin that maybe makes it to 1,500, maybe 2,000, in which case we're talking about a lot higher. I don't think it has the same I don't think it's going to be as big as Chainlink, and I don't think it's as safe as Ethereum by any means, but I think that it's one of those coins that's like, hey, based off of momentum we have seen since its death in 2022, it's come back to life early in 2023, and then its massive support and demand here late in 2023. This is a coin you need to be holding because it could get parabolic in this next bull market. So Solana is my biggest momentum coin that I am going to hold.
I do have an honorable mention for that one, which is just real quick, AVAX. So AVAX is going to be my honorable mention. And that is
okay.
because
That's fair.
if you
That's
look
a
at
fair
the
argument.
midline of the Bollinger Band analysis, it's up 84%. So it is still beating Chainlink and Bitcoin. Yeah, not Solana.
Yeah, Joe Nichols said I said AVAX instead. So yeah, that's AVAX. That's actually a great runner-up category right there for AVAX. I think biggest momentum, dude. I mean, I'm not a meme coin guy. We're gonna give our meme coin picks here after our favorite token, but I have been watching some of my favorite content creators discuss the meme coin world for AVAX. Like we just saw Solana meme coin world go nuts. The AVAX, this is not my area of expertise, so please do your own research. Do not say, well, Tim said that AVAX meme coin is about to take. I am regurgitating what I've heard from people that I trust. The AVAX ecosystem for meme coins could be about to explode. Could be the next big one. So do with that what you will. Dave Digital says, I think my original picks were just off by one as long as Tim picks 80A next. Well, we're talking about favorite coins, and you guys know me well because my favorite coin is ADA. And I'm not going to be apologetic about that. I'm not just jumping on a bandwagon when it comes to ADA being my favorite coin. ADA's been my favorite coin for a long time now, and it's going to take a lot to make it not my favorite coin. What do I mean by that? First of all, it is one of the last big altcoins that I believe is still truly decentralized. You know, T-Shum and I were just down at a Bitcoin conference where a lot of people didn't like altcoins. They're pretty much Bitcoin maxis.
Yep.
And one of their arguments is like, man, these altcoins are just not decentralized anymore. And one guy tried to convince me that there's no such thing as a decentralized altcoin. And I had to really kind of bite my tongue. I started arguing them, and then I had to bite my tongue. Cardano is decentralized. Cardano, I believe, in this next future, I still think we have big gains coming. But I don't know if we're going to have the same gains as Chainlink and Solana. I think we can outgain Ethereum. I don't think we're going to outgain AVAX or anything, but it still has that potential to grow. And here's why. It might not get the institutional adoption that some of these other coins that we talked about are going to get, but it's going to get the people's adoption. It's definitely going to go after the people of Africa who have not had a fair financial banking system in a long time, if ever. It's going to go after the people, even here in the United States, who are just fed up and done with the corruption of money. And even when you take a look at the likes of Solana and Chainlink and others, and you're saying, well, they're cryptos and that's cool, but ultimately they still allow the powerful, the elite, to have complete control over how things work. Cardano is where people are going to flock to because Charles Hoskinson and his team at IOHK have done a beautiful job of creating a coin, a token, an ecosystem that no powerful entity is going to have control over. And it's going to be the place that people who care about decentralization, who care about freedom of speech, who care about no censoring whatsoever, that's where they're going to go. And it's to Cardano. That's why it's my favorite coin. It's not my favorite coin because it has possibly the largest community of all of crypto coins. It's my favorite coin because of what it actually is and what it will do in the future. Is it the fastest? No. Will it have the most gains? No. But is it the most decentralized cryptocurrency altcoin? Yes. And it's setting itself up to be that way for the rest of its existence. T-Shum, what about you? What's your favorite coin?
All right, my favorite coin. Well, it's the same one you picked, Tim. It's going to be Cardano. And I did actually add an honorable mention to Safe Picks, which is Matic. We did a decent amount of chart analysis this week already, but the reason for that is because it's really underbought. But it's extremely. Without Matic, Ethereum would be questionable, right? So
fair.
Matic for me is a good B team runner-up for Safe Picks.
Okay.
I don't have an alternative for love. I don't know that I love, other than Bitcoin, I don't know that I love a project more than Cardano.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what I didn't have a runner-up for that one either. I mean, I didn't really create runner-ups for them other than I have like runner-up coins that are like these. If I made a list of top 10 coins to own, you know, Compound would not be in it for me. Matic would, AVAX would, Injective would, TIA would. And here's, I think you got to own both of these. The other things that you should really look at, other layer 2s on Ethereum, Optimism and Arbitrum. I'm leaning towards Optimism, but there's days where Arbitrum's better. Arbitrum's about to get a massive unlock in the next couple of months. So we're going to see Optimism take the lead for a period of time. But ultimately, I still think Arbitrum has a bright future ahead of it. So those are other ones I'm putting up there as like, hey, I think you need to own them. But again, this is just the top 5. So tell us what you think of our list. Go back to the screen here, T-Shirt. We had one difference between us, and it's just because we flip-flopped them, but we have the same 5 coins. The 5 coins that we recommend you guys hold based off these categories: Caspa, Ethereum, Chainlink, Solana, and Cardano. It's now time for our bonus meme coin.
It's the
now,
bonus
this one,
round.
I do not think we're going to be on the same one whatsoever. But I'm going to let you go first, T-Shroom. And chat, go ahead and put in, if you had to choose one meme coin to own, what would it be? T-Shroom, what are you thinking? What is your meme coin to hold?
All right. My meme coin to hold is, it's going to be Ordi with B-Team Doge.
Okay, Doge, yeah. Why Ordi? Let's walk through. Why Ordi? That's definitely not my choice.
So I did some research. I originally bought Ordi because I thought it was like part of the actual Ordinals project, but it's actually a meme sitting on top of that project that I don't think is officially affiliated with it. But man, it is just rocketed, and I think that it's kind of the Bitcoin blockchain meme coin, in my opinion. Just kind of how like Solana has Bonk, right? AVAX has Inu, whatever it's called. Cardano has Snek, right, and many more. And Ethereum has obviously the many meme coins that are on it. I think that Ordi is kind of emerge as the Bitcoin meme coin, so to speak.
Yeah.
Not that, yeah. And it's the bonus round here because this again, none of this is financial advice, but the meme coins are it's a casino, guys. This is where you really want to be careful. Don't put any real money into it. But these do have some crazy fluctuations, so if you can time it right, you can make a lot of money.
We have some super chats here. Coin Cheeky says Kimbo.
Kimbo. Never heard of it.
Army Piper giving a shout out to one of the sponsors of the channel. All I know is I'm glad I have Ernest to do my crypto taxes. I made a lot of money last year trading, and he can read all of my reports like a children's book. Yes, absolutely. By the way, Ernest, one of the sponsors of this channel, that's decrypted.tax. There's a link down below. Go check him out. Tell him that the bros sent you.
Absolutely.
And yeah, he does we're literally about to have a meeting with one of his guys. He does mine and T-Shroom's taxes. He is an angel. Not just because he's one of the nicest guys in the world, but because he literally has taken off that monkey on my back of worrying about these taxes after some trading, after some movings of money, after the fact that, the year before I wasn't in profit, so I didn't really have to worry too much, even though it was kind of a headache dealing with all the paperwork. This year I'm going to have some profit. I have to report all my taxes, and I don't want the IRS coming after me. So check out Ernest at decrypted.tax. Link down below. My meme coin T-Shroom. And I want to make sure you guys understand there's not a reason here. I'm gonna have to do some backtracking after I say it to clarify some things. All right. This is solely because from an unemotional, subjective? Would it be subjective opinion? I think this coin could make a lot of money. I'm gonna go with Trump coin.
Nice.
I think Trump coin.
I forgot
and
that
again,
you like Trump coin. I already had it read. Look at that.
I am not endorsing Donald Trump whatsoever. What I'm saying and what I understand is that this is not just an American polarizing figure with people who love and hate him. He is a worldwide figure with people who love and hate him. And there's already been some massive inflows into it, but the election season, it's just beginning. The primaries are where it starts to cook a little bit, but it gets really big. Like, wait for this fall when we see more than likely a Donald Trump versus a Joe Biden debate season, which who knows if they're going to let Joe Biden debate. This is a coin that I think could make a lot of money. Again, does that mean I'm going to vote for Trump? No, that does not mean I'm going to vote for Trump. That means I like money. And I understand and I see value flowing into things because of different reasons.
Yeah.
Doge is the automatic, like, people are like, oh, you gotta go Doge. It's the number one, it's number one meme coin. We have X owned by Elon Musk, who loves Doge, building out X for money, and Doge pumped on that news. I'm just telling you right now, just wait till it all happens. People who love, people who hate, they will be buying and selling and trading Trump coin. I think it's gonna have a big run. I think Pepe will as well. I think
Didn't
Pepe
he just
is another
buy?
meme coin.
Didn't a address affiliated with Trump, associated with Trump, didn't he actually buy some Trump coin?
If he did, I have no idea, and I don't know if that's true or not.
Yeah, I don't know if that's true or not either. Well, we do have a factoid of the day here in After Hours, real quick.
Oh yeah, it's Saturday, so we run long. So we still have our giveaway, by the way, guys. We are announcing our giveaway from the Blofin trade we made yesterday. We'll tell you more about it if you don't know what we're talking about. But yeah, what's our factoid of the day? We always have to have factoid.
We're gonna keep it spicy. We're gonna keep it political, Tim. Here,
okay.
And this is this is brought to you. This is brought to you by NordVPN, guys. You know it, you love it. If you go check out NordVPN, you're gonna get a girlfriend as well, right? And if you're
with the package.
Yeah, and look, she's smiling. Your girlfriend, you're not only going to get a girlfriend, she's going to be hot. She's going to be happy all the time. 63% off, and NordVPN, it really does help you stay safe. The folks that have signed up for it, their devices are going to be way more safe. And so, Tim, the question of the day, the factoid of the day, Governor of Texas, Gregory Wayne Abbott, did not hold which Texas high office during his career? Was it A, Texas Attorney General, B, Texas Supreme Court Justice, or C, Agricultural Commissioner?
I mean, the one that I have no idea, but I'm going to say B, Texas Supreme Court Justice, because I don't know why you would go from Supreme Court Justice to governor. That seems like a weird career path.
Okay.
I could be wrong, but it would make more sense for Agriculture Commissioner. That one I'm pretty sure he was. And then Texas Attorney General, it's the one that makes most sense to me to say B, he was never the Supreme Court Justice.
All right, well, Tim, you are wrong. He was never the Agricultural Commissioner.
All right.
Yeah,
all right.
So
cool.
Let's see, where does it say it here?
That's weird.
Yeah, he served
as
the
type of guy who would have been the Agricultural Commissioner.
Yeah. So
maybe that's next for him.
The hint there was that Attorney General and Supreme Court are pretty similar. Whereas the ag minister, I keep saying minister, ag commissioner is different. All right, from 2000 to as justice of the Texas Supreme Court from 1996 to 2001. So
I'm not reading Army Piper's comment, but I do want to point it out for anyone else who does want to read it. That's kind of funny. Is that a normal path? I don't know if the elf could do this in the future. How many former Supreme Court, even if it was just state Supreme Court justices, have gone on to be governor? Is that not a weird career path to go from Supreme Court to a governor?
I don't know, man. Maybe.
Okay.
I think once you're in the public eye in a state, I think it's easier to get into high positions because if you didn't totally screw it up, they're going to want you back in there.
Not that I think it's actually going to happen, but I'll just go ahead and put this sucker out there. If Texas secedes from the U.S., I'm going Texas. I mean, I'm moving to Texas. Hopefully,
oh my gosh, Tim.
Hopefully we see the signs coming first. Dude, Texas, it wouldn't be the largest country, but like, it is hot. But like, imagine Texas as its own country. It would already be one of the higher economies of the world. And then they get to clear out all the crap from the U.S. they have to deal with from the federal system. That could be a pretty cool country right there in Texas.
Yeah.
Not cool as in cool weather, except for those north sections. Cool as in, I think the laws could be favorable, and I would rather live there than here in the United States.
Yeah. My opinion is buy Bitcoin. Buy and hold Bitcoin and pray to the God you believe in that everything's going to be okay. And it will be.
All right. Well, guys, it is time to move on. This has been a very fun show. It's always fun on Saturdays. We have more to do. So yesterday, we entered a trade using Blofin, another sponsor of the channel. You guys don't have a trading exchange and you want to trade these volatile movements, you got to get Blofin. Check out our link down below. People are loving it. Our community loves it. We had a trade where I used fan engagement, audience engagement, to enter a trade. Eric Wallen gave us the suggestion of Sui. Ada Ace gave us suggestion of a 50x. We went on, we looked at the charts, we decided we had the long or short. We went with a short, and it turned out to be a beautiful trade with a 114% or 114. Let me check. I saved it. 114, 114% gains on a $10 trade. This is going to be a new Friday edition. Every single Friday, we're going to do a live trade on the show with $10, and we will then pick one lucky winner to get the profits of that. To be a winner, though, you do have to sign up for Blofin using our link, and you do have to comment on the video. I let people comment in Discord yesterday. I'm realizing it's going to be a lot easier to comment on the video. So in the future, next week when we do this, if you want to win, you have to comment in the YouTube videos comment section. After the show is done being live, you have to comment Blofin and post your UID, and you can enter to win. We do have some entries here that I'm going to be picking out of a hat. That hat is Virginia Tech. I want to dump them all out. Go Hokies. We're about to take the ACC by storm this next year. We're going to have one lucky winner here. All of you are winners in my book, but only one of you will win the $24. So are you ready? I close my eyes so I don't see. Choose one of these suckers. All right, here we go. Winner in my hand, and I will be sending you. The drum roll was early. I'll be sending this later today. Is Bedridden is the winner of the first Blofin giveaway.
Yo, that's
How
awesome.
about that? How about that? Bedridden. That's another free $24 you get to trade with. Guys,
Heck yeah.
there's a lot of things happening. You need to sign up for Blofin, and you need to join the membership because we have a fantastic Discord. And the free version of it is cool too, but in the paid version, because you're a member, we have a whole chat talking about our trading throughout the day, and it has been on fire here recently with some wins, with some losses that we get to learn from those losses. Make sure that you sign up for Blofin, you join the membership, and you get in that group. If you want to start trading successfully today, you have found the right place to do it. As we start to come out here, that's so sad. I don't think Bedridden's here. It's okay. We talk with Bedridden all the time. We'll be able to get him his money. He'll be good.
Tim, 3:00 game tomorrow, 6:30 game tomorrow.
Ooh,
who wins?
We haven't done a football pick here in a little bit. Yeah.
Chief versus Raisins?
Yeah,
or...
so my wife Taylor says that Taylor's going to win. And everyone knows if you say Taylor's going to win, that means the Chiefs.
Okay.
Of course, she's probably picking with her heart and not her brain because the Ravens are going to smack the Chiefs to Kingdom Come tomorrow at 3 p.m. As far as 49ers Lions, I would really love for the Lions to win. Like desperately. You can't I'm not a Lions fan, but after what that city has been through for the last X amount of years in the football world, has sucking and sucking and sucking and sucking and sucking.
Thank you, Tim.
I love their coach. I love their culture. I love everything they're about. I would really love for the Lions to win and go to the Super Bowl.
That's who I want to win too.
But the 49ers are the better team. They just are. Better defense, better offense.
I would love to see the Chiefs because I do like Pat Mahomes, youngest Super Bowl winning quarterback, versus the Lions. And I would like the Lions to win. But that's all from my heart, right? I don't follow NFL enough to have a real educated pick. I usually just defer to whatever Tim says because he's super good at football.
I'm not always right, and upsets happen. It's hard. It is hard to go against Patrick Mahomes. It's not hard for me to go against Taylor Swift because I'm not a Swiftie.
We got a long-time listener, first-time caller here. Baba Yaz said, "Thanks for the picks. Been following you all for a while. First time on chat.
Welcome, Baba.
Be careful with the meme coins, Baba."
Yeah. Guys, it's going to be the Ravens and 49ers. It's going to be a Ravens-49ers Super Bowl. And you're going to have to wait till next week for me to choose the winner of that game because we'll have to decide who it is. It's hard to go against Mahomes. We are watching, we just got to watch Tom Brady. The greatness that he was, the greatest quarterback in NFL history. And we're not even going to get a decade before potentially his successor has filled his shoes. Patrick Mahomes is possibly the greatest quarterback. I think he's more talented than Tom Brady for sure. He's got that same competitive nature, but not this year, Patrick. You get to wait till next year. Clear up some cap space, get a better roster around you. It's time for the Ravens to go. Gosh, what's his name? The quarterback. Why am I blanking on the quarterback's name? Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson finally has the roster around him. I'm not going to tell you I think they're going to win the Super Bowl, but I do think they beat the Chiefs this weekend. Let me know in the chat what you guys think. Super chat on the way out. Army Piper said, "I'm hanging with Bedridden in October in Norway." Awesome. Way to flex on us, Army Piper. Yeah, we all know you have a lot of money and you travel a lot, like to overseas countries. But thank you for the super chat, and we love you also. Speaking of Army Piper, he put something. Go follow him on Twitter because he made an announcement on Twitter.
He did. Very important announcement.
Did. In fact, I'm not going to have the audio to share with you guys, but let's go over here. Army Piper just posted this. Go to my screen. Let's zoom in here. Coming soon.
Coming soon
What's
to
coming
video
soon?
and DVD.
What's coming soon?
You remember
Could
that, Tim?
imagine? I don't remember that. No.
You don't remember that?
No, that is okay. Primal trading is coming very, very soon. Guys, it's actually crazy. Primal trading has been in the works for a long time, but then it wasn't in the works, and now it's back in the works. Cannot wait for this. This is a trading course, technical analysis that we have been working on now for over almost a year now in the workings on this. Again, there was a pause in it for a little bit because there was some confusion, but it is back on. It will be launching very, very soon. The good news is you guys can get ready for it. It's gonna teach you everything you need to know about the basics of technical analysis, and then both Army Piper and myself are going to be working to continue to build new content in there for trading strategies and helping educate you guys on better ways to use your technical analysis to kill it and build generational wealth. If you're excited, smash a 1 in chat, smash the like button, subscribe to our channel, subscribe to the Piper Academy, because even though we're two different channels, we are one community. I know he's got the OGs there, but the Piper Academy is just an extension of the Bros community, ultimately. And we are super excited to be bringing you guys this trading course. That's all we have for you in today's video. That's it for this weekend. But we'll be back Monday morning. Got the TA in the morning, got the news in the morning, got our live shows in the afternoon. Subscribe to the channel, share it with friends, and you guys have a fantastic weekend.
Trying to make paper, turn that better to cake. Money like Lego, connect the dots that bank. We are investing bros. We are investing bros. Army pipe, lethal on trade. Entries and exits, worthy of praise. Tim, the professor of the TA. Shout it out loud on the PA. T-Shrooms news, got the word. Doing better than what he deserves. Beamer, leave no evidence. Soon fly coop with his dividend. Trying to make paper, turn that better to cake. Money like Lego, connect the dots that bank. We are investing bros. We are investing bros.